Welcome back, everybody. Game is made, players are here, jumping into our second game in our final series for Southern Cross Dota launch party. I'm still your host, Barry, and with me is still Porcelain Lily, who you can find on her stream at, what is it?
Twitch.tv/the Porcelain Lily.
Fantastic. All pick, all sorted out. We got all our heroes selected back from our draft. Moving into... I don't know why it lags. It lags a little bit when it going from all pick. Anyways, running over the Radiant team here.
You want me to do it?
No, I had to turn on all the logos and stuff. Sorry, got a little befuddled there on that one. Either way, over on the Radiant team, Lonsdale gonna be playing up on our Chen. T-Duck will be on our Clockwork. TLM will be handling the Shadow Demon. Gyrocopter will be played by the Muffin Man, and what appears to be a mid-lion is going to be played by EZlife. Over on the Dire team, Firestarter with what appears to be a very beautiful Nyx Assassin set. I'm kind of jealous of that set. I kind of want it. Firestarter. Visage will be played by Just For Funds. Vinicave.com will be our Mid-Storm Spirit. Spectre will be played by... Lord Varies, not so great with names. Lord Varies, and EOT will be playing our solo offlane Darkseer. Already,
I have to say,
warding comes out here from Dire side, blocking out the Chen, assuming that Chen is going to be in the Radiant jungle. I remember you called that Chen was going to be in the Dire jungle.
well, he might not, but I suspect they will be trying to do a more aggressive Chen. Maybe after about level 3, purely because that Storm is the easiest gank ever for the first couple of levels. So once the Storm hits 6, it's going to be a bit of trouble, but before then, you know, a Troll or even just a Nuke with that Lion combo is going to be able to drop him.
No, exactly. I mean, the dual lane, the Muffin Man, it appears to be a dual lane with a Chen, with what's going to be a Chen supporting in the jungle of the Muffin Man and TLM here. Kind of curious as to what they're going to be able to do against this Darkseer with only 2 heroes. I think they're really going to need the Chen to find these kills. But if they bring the Chen, there's going to be a lot of capability here, and it would appear that my co-caster has lost connection to her internet once again. Don't worry, I'm here. I got this. I did the first 2 games by myself anyway. Anyways, the biggest thing with a Darkseer when you're laning against him is you need to have time-consuming abilities that really waste the duration of Surge. Because if you're able to waste the duration of Surge, quite obviously he's not going to be able to escape any kind of gank you try to put over onto him. So the Chen, with a few of the Centaurs, can do a fantastic job of this as well, but Shadow Demon is definitely the prime suspect for this tactic. I mean, the Disruption can hold him out for most of the duration of a level 1 Surge. It also can be followed up with Chen. If Chen is around with a Centaur, maybe an Ursa Warrior just for the damage, as well as Gyrocopter as well with the flat cannon. It's going to hit like a freight train. Over on the top lane, T-Duck will be soloing up against Lord Varies and Just For Funds. Not all that surprising that Lord Varies is having kind of a rough time here, just trying to get last hits here. These creeps are kind of beating him up here. Spectre has always been one of those carries that I've been a little on the fence about. Never really too sure whether or not I should believe that he's going to do all that great. I mean, the potential for Spectre is unbelievable. What he can do is almost unparalleled, but it's getting to that point that is the hardest. One Spectre is definitely one of the best carries, but takes some of the most effort to actually make happen. It's going to be interesting to see if Hans Reborn are going to have the effort it's going to take to put Spectre on the front lines, get him his farm. I mean, depending on what he's going to be building here. I mean, if he goes to the shop and he picks up Quelling Blade, interesting choice, making it a lot easier for him to last here. And I'm not sure whether or not it was all that necessary, especially against a solo lane Clockwork. It's not going to be all that difficult for him to find much farm. Anyways, Z Muffin Man's down in the bottom lane, sitting kind of pretty. 14 for 5, being our richest hero right now. Unfortunately, the offlane is kind of attacked by the Darkseer, who's moved into the jungle right now. Rotation's coming in on Lonsdale here. They're trying to find a farm of Vinicave.com. Stun goes out here. There's not much they can respond with here. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to put enough right-click damage down on him here. Lonsdale taking a lot of damage from this Ion Shell, and the first blood is going to go out here on Chen. went absolutely south here, and Lion getting a little bit too greedy as well. 2 kills going the way of Hans Reborn as Vindicave.com vindicates himself. Give me a moment here. I need to reconnect the Skype call with my co-caster.
Hello, sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. Anyways, over in the top lane, Lord Varen's doing quite well, 12 for 4, although he's having a hard time competing with Gyro's 22 for 8. I mean, Gyro is top-notch farm at this point, but I mean, he has nobody to lane against. Darkseer decided to sack the lane, move into the jungle, make it a little bit easier for him. He's picked up his soul ring, going to be able to rotate around a lot easier now with that soul ring. Whether or not he'll be able to find more kills, well, I have to see. I mean, 2 kills already going the way of Hans Reborn as mid kind of really went south for them as, you know, Darkseer rotating into the mid lane from the jungle made Chen's life really difficult there.
Yeah, I just managed to catch the end of that, but it was well played by the Storm, I noticed. I don't know where you were watching, but he did that perfect turn around and do the instant nuke kill that you always see in WoW Dota.
All the surprising stuff, but I mean, that's what's happening is what you had mentioned. I mean, Vindicave is at this point with Lion being level 4. He does have level 2 in mana drain, which is going to really start to hurt this Storm Spirit here. Throws out free stuns, lots of free mana here, and smoke coming out over in the dire jungle right now. Firestarter and just for funds, pop their smoke, rotating towards the mid lane here. I'm really loving this play coming from Hans right now. They know the difficulty that Storm is going to have up against this Lion, and they're adjusting for it. They're having the supports rotate in here. Lion might get caught out here. Impale goes on, yeah, buddy. Storm is level 6. He does have Ball Lightning, and Lion is going to go down to the Static Remnant here. Storm Spirit picking up another kill on him. 2-0 being the score for Storm Spirit on this Lion. And things are looking a little negative right now for Lion. I mean, sure, he can win this lane, but not with the kind of support that this mid lane is receiving here.
I honestly don't think he can win the lane anymore. He needed to hit level 6 at the same time or before the Storm did, but unfortunately giving him that kill as well as a kill on the Chen. Not the Storm got the kill, but you know, really kind of brought them down a little bit. He's going to have a hard time catching up.
Over in the top lane, T-Duck making a bad mistake here, deciding to trap Spectre in here at the exact moment that both of his supports are returning to the top lane here. Just barely escapes on just what looks like 100 health here. Either way, over in the mid lane, yeah, buddy, doing a good job at now stealing most of the mana from Vindicave.com here. Down in the bottom lane, Z Muffin Man, still completely uncontested. 40 for 14 is what he's sitting at. Phase Boots completed, as well as finishing a Ring of Basilius. I'm a little curious as to what he's going to be looking to build here. I think Unlucky King Bar would be a good choice. I don't know if it would be the best choice, but he has the free farm to build one of those strong items as his first.
I don't think he does. With this Storm getting as fat as this Storm might be able to do, given his kills so far, if he doesn't get a fast BKB or at least some survivability, even just the Ogre Axe, the Storm's just going to jump on him, and with the Nyx ganking as well, he's going to be food.
Yeah, well, Gyro's a little old. I'm sure he won't taste very good. Anyways, Lord Vera's in the top lane, not doing so bad. 22 for 9. Doing, I think, as best as he could be doing up against T-Duck right now. I mean, T-Duck doing pretty good job at surviving in this lane here. I mean, Visage and Nyx Assassin are remaining quite hands-off from this tri lane, which isn't all that great here. But T-Duck, unfortunately, might find himself in a bad situation here. And if they decide to go on him, there is no support for him right now. The ping goes out. Maybe the Grave Chill goes out. No, Grave Chill is not going to go out here. T-Duck still looking to harass this pull right now. Over in the Radiant jungle right now, EOT is going to find Lonsdale. Lonsdale trying to hide behind some trees right now, but it's not going to matter. He doesn't have any stun creeps right now. Surge goes out trying to get out of here before the Lion shows up. Lion is level 6, does have Finger of Death. That could mean death for either Storm Spirit or Darkseer at this moment in time. Visage rotating back up to the top lane here. T-Duck is really pushing his luck right now with his positioning. He is really asking for it. He might go down on this one here. Nyx Assassin drops the stun. Grave Chill going out at the same time here. Unfortunately, Spectre isn't here right now. Spectre throws down the Spectral Dagger. She really doesn't have the health to stick around. One more auto attack. Unfortunately, T-Duck is trapped inside, but Shadow Demon TLM picking the perfect opportunity to come back here. Fortunately, the Spectre Illusions just don't have enough health to bring him down. Well played. Great timing from TLM on that one.
Yeah, no, that was I don't know if it was a combination of luck or just pure skill by T-Dog, but that was a very lucky escape. And plus, they also managed to almost score that kill on the Spectre since he was quite low. which is really not what you want to be happening when the gyrocopter's free farm in the opposite lane.
Exactly. You need your Spectre to be so picture perfect amount of farm at all points of this game, especially since they're not being aggressive towards this gyrocopter. He is absolutely free farming. There is nobody in this lane anymore. Nyx Assassin hasn't motioned down there. Neither has Visage or Storm Spirit at this moment. I mean, we could see that very shortly. See something like the Storm Spirit rotating down there with the Nyx Assassin as well. That would be very surprising. I know that would surprise the hell out of me. I mean, sitting in a lane and suddenly there's Fire Starter and the Storm Spirit sitting right next to you. I mean, I don't think he would survive it this early in the game. I mean, I think if Spectre takes a death, then they're really going to have to focus on bringing down this gyrocopter, at least once.
Yeah, well, I suspect we're going to see a gank pretty soon, since that Storm has managed to pick up an invisibility rune. But I do have to say that even though the gyrocopter is free farming, as we were mentioning during the draft, Hans has got a really level dependent draft. It's very greedy, and as you can see, the sports aren't worrying so much about, you know, they did do that gank on Lion, but otherwise they're kind of sticking to pooling and just trying to get their levels up, because they know as soon as they hit level 6 they're going to be able to gank quite aggressively and hopefully get some towers and shut down the other team. So they're kind of foregoing the early game with the intention of pulling it a little bit later.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's what their draft had told us. I mean, as you said, as we discussed during the draft, it's definitely what they're looking for. And I mean, they're going to find the levels with the pulling as well. Spectre finding some levels as well, level 8. Fortunately, Gyro, I mean, it's so hard to argue with the amount of farm that he has right now. I mean, 63 for 21, 1,400 gold. It's going to get really scary. I don't know. I think Storm Spirit could be roaming a little more, honestly. I mean, the longer he stays in this mid lane against Lion, the harder it's going to be. I mean, he needs to rotate out and find some kills right now. Darkseer has rotated down to this bottom lane as well to put some pressure on this gyrocopter. And now the Storm Spirit has the Invis rune. He's rotating in here as well. They're probably going to find Lonsdale here, but are they going to be able to put the kill on individually here? Ion Shell goes off on the Storm Spirit while he's while Electric Vortex goes up. One more right click's going to bring him down. Even with 2 trolls, it's not going to matter. And Vinicave.com picks up the killing spree here. Fortunately, Vinicave has been playing mid so unbelievably well. Well positioned, well played there from Vinicave, pulling himself out of... avoiding that split earth there, but doesn't really matter. Lion really overkills Darkseer there with the damage amplification and Finger of Death. It really wasn't necessary, but either way, Vinicave have just been absolutely fantastic with these mids. He played Queen of Pain, just unbelievable Queen of Pain. He dominated with Queen of Pain, dominated with Templar Assassin as well. Apparently, he's just the scariest mid to play against. Rotation for Vinicave. Just as I'm complimenting him, he picks up another kill in the top lane here on Clockwork. 14 seconds. Clockwork's going to be down, dominating now as well. Finished his hop. Opted to pick up Power Treads instead of the Mana Boost. Once again, just aggression. There is no chance here. Rotating in on this Lion right away here, picking up another kill. This one going the way of Nyx Assassin, though. Just unbelievable amounts of aggression here from Hans here. And they're finding the levels now. Nyx Assassin has hit level 6. Storm is level 10 here. They're going to be able to find some kills here. TLM just trying to get out here. He is able to TP before the second instance of the call down finishes him off here. Gyrocopter forced back behind his tier 1 tower here. Spectre picking up a Vanguard. I'm really not too sure what to think of that. If they're trying to put this into the late game, I don't think the Vanguard is the best of the choice.
I don't know if they're necessarily trying to go for the late game. I think they're just going for a greedier strategy. And they've definitely achieved that, I would say. They got levels on both supports. Storm is doing well, Darks is doing well in the jungle, and Spectre's gone for a build that enables him to help out the team in the early game. His ultimate's going to do a lot of damage and he's going to be able to tank a lot. So, I mean, it's a late game and a greedy strategy, but it's also got the potential to run early game, which is, I think, what they're going for.
Well, that's true. I hadn't really thought of the early game potential of this team right now. I mean, they do have a significant level advantage. Looking over at the experience graph, it is going 3,000 or 2,500 the way of Hans Reborn right now. Starting to climb back up towards EZlife, but as it stands, Hans does have the experience advantage. Over in this mid lane, the assembly of Chen and Lion with Shadow Demon as well, supported by Z-Muffin Man. They're going to be looking to push down this tier 1 tower, taking the second tower of the game for them. Fortification goes up. I'm not sure whether they're actually going to be able to defend this here. Storm Spirit, Neo tier rotating in. Looks like they're going to be putting some defense here out on it now. Vendetta is up on Firestarter. Firestarter might be looking to use it here, but a sentry is already preemptively placed here in case he decides to go with that strategy.
think Hans are going to defend this for as long as they can, purely to waste time for the Spectre to farm.
Storm Spirit blinks in right away, looking for a pickup kill here on your buddy. Call down comes out, stun goes out on T-Dog. T-Dog trapping himself inside the cogs here, not sure what the goal of that was. Call down hitting 3 people. Nyx Assassin focuses down the clockwork, but at the same time, Darkseer pays with his life here. Rocket chasing just for fun. They need to bring this down, it'll kill him. Tower goes down anyways, not sure if it's worth it. TLM initiates over on the Storm Spirit. Are they going to be able to follow up on it? No, they won't be able to. Able to ball lightning his way out of the bad situation. Ye buddy almost able to hit him with split earth, earth spike. Doesn't matter. Finger of death, Nyx Assassin, and Nyx Assassin goes down for the next 15 seconds. And interestingly enough, you know, this is starting to look a little bit better for EZlife right now. You know, they found their kills. They found 2 towers.
Well, yeah, that gyrocopter joining the fights I think helped a lot. I mean, honestly, both teams are doing quite well for themselves. They've kind of hedged all their bets on particular heroes, like the Storm. They gave a lot of support to him, and the gyrocopter on the other team. And now it's going to come down to which heroes have the most impact in team fights. You know, if that gyrocopter manages to get picked off by the Storm or the Nyx, that's going to be crucial for Hans to, you know, turn the game into their favor. But likewise, if the Storm manages to get picked off, that's going to be incredibly bad for Hans, so it should be pretty interesting to see how both these teams play.
Well, Gyro is going to have his BKB very shortly, and 7 gold now. He's going to have his BKB completed. It's going to make a huge difference in these team fights. I mean, most of the damage he received during that last fight, if any of the damage, was from Storm Spirit, with a lot of the static remnants that were placed near Clockwork. Now he's not going to be able to take any of that damage. Storm Spirit isn't going to be able to pick him off in the group anymore. He'll have to pick a different target, which would probably be the Chen, honestly. If I were to have to take a pick for Storm Spirit, it would be to jump on the Chen. Prevent the Hand of God from going out, prevent him from focusing on microing his creeps by killing him pretty much. EOT.
He's gonna have a hard time.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, oh no, there's initiation on bot, you can follow that.
The Storm Spirit might be in a bad situation here. Unfortunately, he is able to ball lightning out of any bad situation here. He is able to force a BKB charge out of Z-Muffin Man, turning it down to 9 seconds so early. If they're able to force the BKB down to 4 seconds very quickly, we could see the BKB fall off very quickly. Darkseer and Visage over in the top lane, rotating into the jungle, getting some farm for the both of them right now. Which is, I think, what they're going to be needing. I mean, just sharing is caring, right? I mean, get farm on everybody. You do a lot better than getting a little bit of farm on just 1 or 2 people. That's always been my rule.
And the Darkseer has got the mech up now, so hopefully he'll be helping out in team fights now. And that mech is going to have a really big impact against the nuke damage from the gyrocopter and the lion.
Excuse me, I'm just... Hey, I woke up at 4:30 this morning, you know. I am quite tired, but either way, you know, you do what you got to do for the stuff you love. But, you know, Lonsdale almost done the mech of his own, 300 gold off of finishing his mech, deciding to go with a lot of creeps that don't have the stuns, which is a little surprising. I'm not sure if that's just the cards he was given here and not able to find any centaurs, or if he's actually opting to go with creeps that do a little bit more damage. Which, I mean, if you're looking at what EZlife have for damage, they have a lot of damage, especially in this early game right now. I'm not sure they need the damage. I think they need the stuns. They need the extra creep stuns. I mean, they have the Lion, they have the Chen. No, not really the Chen, apologies. They would have the Chen if he had the creeps. They have the Shadow Demon and the Clockwork. But they have so much damage. They have the Call Down, the Finger of Death, Damage Amplification, and the Chen creeps as well. I just don't think they need any more extra damage.
It might be for the auras, honestly. Because those auras do help a fair bit with pushing, and if they're going for pushing towers down, that shockwave is going to help push the creep wave back very fast. And that's what I think they're doing. You know, they rotated mid, bot, and now they're going for top towers, so that shockwave's going to be able to clear the creep waves very quickly. And the auras from both those creeps are going to help with the pushing.
Oh, exactly. Now the question is that is Hans going to be able to defend this, or whether or not they're actually going to want to defend this? And the answer is no. They're just going to let it happen, as they are looking to trade the top tower for the mid tower. Spectre, Firestarter, and EOT over in this mid lane. But I think EZlife is going to be TPing in to contest this. Gyrocopter comes in with a smoke. We might see a call down initiation right away. T-Dog jumps in on EOT. Call down comes in on him as well. He's stuck inside. EOT is going to go down right away. Darkseer, big player in any team fight, is going to be brought down for a full 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was a little bit of I would say a misplay, as they did the heroes pushing mid for Hans Reborn did seem to split up a little bit. leaving the Darkseer to get caught out alone, which is not what you want to see happening.
There's probably a little bit of miscommunication. Darkseer stuck around for a little bit too long. But that was a really good initiation from T-Duck. He came in right away with that hook. There wasn't any hesitation on it, and he hit it right on the head. That was really well played from him. I mean, I'm not sure if using the call down on just him was a good idea. I mean, if optimally, Hans need to start this fight now, and they're starting it right now anyway. Spectre ult goes out, Yi Buddy. Defensive disruption goes on Yi Buddy, saving him from quite a bit of damage here. Unfortunately, he might go down. Hand of God is called, is used. T-Duck, unfortunately, taking a lot of damage. Mech as well as Pop. These EZlife heroes just don't want to die, but Lion is the first one to go down here. Storm Spirit, not that much mana left, unfortunately. He's looking to pick up a kill here on T-Duck just for fun, picking up a double kill with the Soul Assumption here. Lord Vare is unbelievably tanky, just continuing to chase these heroes here. Lonsdale just barely escaping with his life, and biggest player in that team fight right there. Lonsdale keeping that team alive.
I'm not too sure what the Lion was doing there. He's got his Blink Dagger, but he was caught out right in the middle here. Standing so close to the tower, he shouldn't have been attacking it, I don't think.
Storm Spirit very close to finishing his Orchid of Malevolence. Those initiations are going to go a lot better when Storm Spirit has finished that Orchid of Malevolence. I mean, probably could have blinked in, put the silence on Chen, finished off Lion, and you would have been looking at a very different team fight if Chen wasn't able to pop that Hand of God as quick as he was able to.
Gosh, sorry. Oh, you okay?
Yeah. Anyways, Lonsdale has finished his mech. Made quite a bit of difference during that last fight. I mean, unfortunately, EZlife, I think they were a little surprised by how much damage that Hans actually possessed in the heroes that they have. I mean, they were a little shocked that both of the healing uses, both of the healing instances were popped, and they turned around and ran right away. I mean, it was full-on backpedal. I think the only hero to die for Hans during that fight, I think it was the Nyx Assassin, the only person to go down during that fight.
I don't think Nyx even died.
Well, either way, they were put on the back foot. Just right away, they were thrown on the back foot. Gyro has finished his Helm of the Dominator already. Black King Bar, Helm, and Phase Boots up at 20 minutes and 6 seconds. Quite impressive farm right now. 128 for 24. Leading on network as well as leading on last hits right now. Storm Spirit is the only hero right now who is close to Gyrocopter's net worth. Spectre closely following Storm Spirit afterwards, and Lion after that. But Vinicave.com has finished his Orchid of Malevolence, which is going to expand his potential and tenfold, I would call it. I mean, Lion is going to be that much more vulnerable. Most of these EZlife lineup heroes are going to be that much more vulnerable, especially the Chen. The Chen is going to be the prime target for the Orchid of Malevolence and for the Storm Spirit. Whether or not Storm Spirit is going to be able to find Chen in these team fights is really going to be the deciding factor. Because if we look at what the last fight brought to us, if Chen wasn't there, they would have all died. That's a hands down. They would have lost that team fight so unbelievably obvious. Meanwhile, on top lane, Gyrocopter picks up a kill on Spectre here with T-Duck and Yi Buddy here. Not much of a response came out from Hans, unfortunately. I don't think they expected him to go down that quickly.
I think Spectre's kind of a patsy here at the moment. Mostly they just want to concentrate on pushing towers and protecting the Storm.
The Storm is definitely going to present a lot more potential now than the Spectre is. I mean, the ult is just kind of a scare tactic. I mean, it gets really messy when the Spectre ults, but I mean, are they going to be trading towers? Oh yeah, they're going to be trading tier 2 for tier 2 here. Both teams, 312 gold. Going the way of Lion, who picks up the last hit on that tower here. Interesting what he's going to be doing with it here. I mean, they ran the Lion in the mid lane, which is why he's picked up, you know, the Blink Dagger. He's going to be run as a semi-carry, I guess, sort of a pseudo semi-carry with the power treads here. BKB would definitely be the best choice, prevents him from being picked off from by Storm Spirit, and I think that's kind of the wish of every hero on EZlife right now. They want an EZlife away from Storm Spirit because he's definitely the scariest hero out there right now. Darkseer still farming up the jungle right now, looking to finish his Hood of Defiance. Gonna be a good choice if he's able to finish that Hood. He's taken a lot of damage, not only from Shadow Demon, but a lot of damage from Gyrocopter as well during all these fights, since he seems to be the fan favorite of EZlife to pick off first every single time, either because he's in a bad position, or because Gyrocopter focuses him down when Clockwork holds him inside of the cogs. Because, I mean, a lot of these fights haven't been going that great for Hans, because Darkseer is always dead before they start.
Well, yeah, the Darkseer is one of those heroes that you really would just want to pick off, since his ultimate and the vacuum are really, really disruptive. Especially if he can, you know, combo it well with something like a Nyx stun, or even when the Spectre's ult go off, everything just goes to chaos. So if they can pick that Darkseer off, they know the teamfight's going to go a lot better.
Oh, Storm Spirit blinks in at an incredible distance. Chen sends him back. Storm Spirit is able to pick off the Chen, but Lion has been able to be sent back to base here. Spectre ult is popped, looking for a kill here on the Lion back in the fountain, but he's not going to be able to find it, unfortunately. And moments like that is what Storm Spirit scares the hell out of me in a lot of these games. I mean, he went from middle of the jungle all the way to the lane with enough mana to finish off the Chen. It gets scary, and once he snowballs, if they're allowing him to snowball past this point, it's going to get very difficult for EZlife to farm anywhere on the map.
Well, yeah, that's always the worry when the enemy gets a Storm and the Storm manages to get farm. So you really got to watch your positioning, and I mean, since they've got the Nyx as well, they're really just going to have to 5-man Dota soon.
Initiation comes in here from Clockwork, holding 2 heroes inside. Gonna catch 3 heroes inside this con. Now Lorne Var is taking a lot of damage here. Nyx Assassin and Spectre are gonna go down. BKB is popped by Gyrocopter. Storm Spirit says, I'm getting right out of here. I don't need to stick around for all this. And he's the only one to come out of that engagement alive here. Very well played by Clockwork. Clockwork doing a fantastic job abusing some bad positioning here from Hans, trapping in as many heroes as possible for Gyrocopter to focus down. It's interesting that T-Duck has opted to pick up the Force Staff as his first item. I mean, maybe there's the possibility that he traps you in the cogs and pushes himself out and just leaves you in the cogs. I mean, I've never seen that before, but it would be interesting to see, I guess.
I think mostly he's just using it as a positional tool. Because, you know, if he just manages to get grabbed by, say, the Storm, he's going to be able to Force Staff himself out, or just use a chasing, or, you know, whatever you need it for. He's got the Chen to pick up any support items like the mech, so he can go more for positional and semi, you know, utility style items like the Force Staff.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if he's going for a BKB or an Arcs now, but...
Lion is confirmed. He is building a BKB. He's pretty close. I think he is... He's sending out the Mithril Hammer to himself right now. It's just going to leave him the recipe. Probably be done within the next 5 minutes, and I mean, that's going to be another one of the big turning points. Is, I mean, a lot of the potential that Hans has right now is magic-based. I mean, you look at the Nyx Assassin, Visage as well, puts out a lot of damage with the Soul Assumption. That's all magic damage. Once your key heroes pick up your BKBs, like your Lion, your Gyro already has it, it's going to get very hard for Hans to win these fights without a farmed Spectre. It's going to get really tough for Spectre not to be farmed very shortly. But at the same time, Storm Spirit does finish a BKB of his own here, which is going to increase his survivability as well, just as much as it did Gyrocopter's.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of this is going to come down to who jumps on who first. I mean, while I think the Chen is definitely going to be the target for the Storm, conversely, the Storm is going to be the target for this Lion. If the Lion can manage to get the jump on the Storm's going to fall pretty quickly to the Finger of Death, Earth Spike, and Hex combo. But alternatively, if he doesn't get the jump, then that Storm's just going to dominate them. So it's going to be whoever gets the quicker fingers.
Alrighty, smoke coming out from the Radiant side. Yeah, buddy, T-Duck and Lonsdale smoking up with the creeps as well. Probably looking to pick up a kill here on Spectre, who has decided to wander into this lane and try and find some farm here. Maybe they're looking for Darkseer in the jungle as well here. There aren't that many heroes at the same time. Shadow even picks up another smoke. A lot of aggression here from both teams. I love watching aggressive games like this. Honestly, I mean, there's never a dull moment. Both teams are always out looking for kills, super bloodthirsty, especially with lineups like these, like the Storm Spirit and the Nyx Assassin, who are made to hunt. It feels good watching Dota, casting Dota like this.
It's definitely more interesting than 4-man to 1 support draft. But I mean, the problem is both teams are playing so aggressive that they're kind of missing each other at some points. Like, we just saw both teams smoke up, but nothing came from it.
Oh, right away, Yeah Buddy throws the silence over on Yeah Buddy. Spectral gets popped. Kickstarter is caught inside T-Duck, but instantly T-Duck says, this is a bad choice. I need to get out of here. But he gets brought down right away. TLM just trying to barely escape her. Vinicave's BKB is what made the biggest difference during that fight there. Spectre picks up the kill on Clockwork. Fantastic choice giving the kill to Spectre there. And Lion almost went down as well. Lion just barely escapes here, but with the Clockwork down, they are feeling safe enough to rotate over towards the Roshan pit, and they are going to be able to pick it up here.
Maybe not. It looks like EZlife, yeah, they're smoking up and going for the defense of the Roshan.
And we're going to see Z Muffin Man initiating with a call down. He already has the Eagle Song right away. Hans sees this. They back out of the Roshan pit. Clockwork will be up in 5 seconds. Unfortunately, this will mean they're not going to be able to finish Roshan, as they're banking most of their ability to finish the Roshan without the Clockwork, without the hook, most importantly. With the hook, they're not going to be able to do it. I mean, they could, but it would be too risky getting caught. Small position inside that Roshan pit with all of the AoE that they bring. It's just... no, you just don't want to risk it, honestly. Then Yeah Buddy blinks in, only able to find Vinicave.com. Right away, Z Muffin Man pops the BKB. Darkseer wall goes down as well, catching only one hero. Z Muffin Man going to town on everybody around him here. TLM not able to get sent back in time. Yeah Buddy gets Electric Vortex up here. Storm Spirit, unstoppable spree here. Gonna be picking up possibly a double kill here. T-Duck and Z Muffin Man in the background are the only survivors of this right now. Vinicave as well, chasing the Chen out, picking up a double kill here. Firestarter uses the Vendetta, looking to find Z Muffin Man here, prevent him from getting any farther here. Storm Spirit with the Haste Rune, looking to finish off T-Duck here. T-Duck, you brave man, sacrificing yourself for Gyrocopter. You are an honorable soul.
A little bit of a questionable play by the Lion, deciding to blink into 5 of them. I think it didn't go quite the way he planned. I think he was trying to get maybe a 5-man stun, but he only managed to catch out the, I think it was a Darkseer.
I think he only caught out the Storm Spirit on that one. Darkseer just missed. It was just the Storm Spirit. I mean, I'm sure, as you said, he was assuming he was going to pick, I think what it looked like, hoping for a 3-man stun, which could have turned out a lot better than it did. I mean, Darkseer was fantastic on the response. Although he only pulled one hero through the wall, it was a fantastic split between the Gyro and the rest of his team. It really prevented him from going back after the BKB ended. And it really allowed Storm Spirit just free reign on everybody on the other side of the wall. He picked up a double kill, killed Chen, killed Shadow Demon as well. He just went to town on everybody. But Gyrocopter, so farm, finishing a Butterfly at 29 minutes. It's just unbelievable.
He's doing nice for himself. I think now this game, though, is going to depend a lot on if this Lion can pick up the BKB, because he's just been completely neutralized these fights. The Storm just silences him and he's completely useless.
No, exactly. I mean, he jumps on him right away. We saw it there. I mean, I don't know if it's a vendetta from going mid against him or not wanting to have to deal with the Finger of Death, because, I mean, he's got a BKB, so he wouldn't really have to deal with it. But I think it's definitely a little bit more of a vendetta. Interestingly enough, Lord Varys has picked up a Radiance instead of maybe a Manta or a Diffusal. I'm not a huge fan of a Radiance on Spectre, but in this case, I think it would slide against the heroes we're up against here. I mean, especially with the Butterfly, the burn is still going to go through the Butterfly. It's a reliable source of damage.
Well, I think especially, as you mentioned, they're kind of just using the Spectre to just create havoc in team fights, and with the Radiance, he definitely is going to be doing that. I mean, the heroes, unless EZlife communicates really, really well, the heroes are probably going to split up and then get dispersion and desolate damage. And if they don't, then that means they're going to be all clumped up together for the wall, so that Radiance, I think, was a really smart pickup.
Oh, exactly.
Plus, it'll help him far more.
Yeah, hey, why not? Yeah. Spectre, you can never really have enough farm with Spectre, honestly. When you're 6 slotted, no, you need to 6 slot some more. Buy 6 new items. That's what you need to do. Just drop those 6 items, buy 6 more. Just because. But
60 hours, it'll be fine.
Yeah, why not? Lion has finished his VKB here. Gonna make a big difference. Not sure how much of a difference it's gonna make. He's still not gonna be able to put much on the Storm Spirits with Storm Spirit BKB of his own here, but he is gonna be able to avoid death from Vinicave here. But Vinicave, with the items, with the amount of money he still has, probably either going to be looking for a Lincoln's or going to be building a Sheepstick. I think a Lincoln's or a Sheepstick would both be very viable choices in this situation, although a Lincoln's would be a little selfish, whereas a Sheepstick might be a more favorable team fight choice.
I suspect we're going to see either a Bloodstone or a Lincoln's. So I think both are going to have a pretty significant effect on the game. If you get the Bloodstone, he's going to be unkillable because he's just going to be running all around the place if he gets up that Hex. Sorry, did I say... I meant Hex, not Lincoln's. I might have said Lincoln's. Yeah, he's going to go Hex or Bloodstone. But Bloodstone is going to be really, really good because he's going to be able to run around the map, but Hex is going to be equally good because he'll be able to pick off that Lion even more.
Poor Lion. It's all about Lion, apparently. I mean, our whole life is devoted to killing Lion. Roshan is going to reclaim his Aegis. It's interesting that they write reclaim the Aegis, where Roshan just comes back to life and just takes it back, I guess. I mean, I guess that's how that's working. Just takes the Aegis back. Either way, 3 minutes. Spectre turns off the Radiance. Doesn't want to be giving away the Radiance burn to anyone around there. These familiars might be giving away the position a little bit here, but Gyrocopter is stuck in this middle lane here. We might see initiation coming out on him here. This ward isn't going to spot them out here. Firestarter just waiting. Yee Buddy sees him though, but instantly the Hex goes out. The Darkshire wall goes down as well. Vinnicave stuck outside with his team there. EOT unfortunately not able to join in on this fight here. TLM being brought down by Just for Funds here. Gyrocopter just barely escaping here. Vinnicave as well. Monster kill streak going his way here. Lord Varys with this Radiance. Radiance was apparently the best choice he could have made because that made a world of difference during that team fight.
Yeah, that didn't go too favorably to EZlife. I was just kind of watching the Storm and Lion chase each other around since I think that's the most amusing interaction at the moment, but yeah, I feel a bit bad for EZlife at the moment, especially Muffin Man, since he's obviously trying his best, but he just doesn't have enough damage output. But if he didn't go for the BKB and Butterfly, he would just die too fast, so it's kind of in a lose-lose situation.
I think he should have went with an MKB instead of a Butterfly, honestly. MKB is always the better second item as a Gyro, because unfortunately Gyro doesn't start with a too reliable amount of damage. Sure, you can hit everybody. If you're hitting everybody like a kitten, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're just going to look cute, and Storm Spirit's going to finish you off. But I mean, during that fight, the play from Clockwork must definitely be something to mention there. He did a fantastic job at separating the Hans team from each other almost. He separated the Darkseer outside on the opposite side of the cogs here. Storm Spirit was out here by himself, as well as holding in two heroes, but it just didn't make a difference. I mean, it made a difference for a few seconds, but as soon as the cogs end, all hell broke loose here because EZlife was just absolutely, they were just everywhere, honestly, and Spectre just went to town on these individual heroes like you discussed earlier.
Well, that's one thing that I like about Hans's draft is just that they've got such a mobile draft. With Darkseer having Surge, Storm being able to pop everywhere, and Spectre being able to run through trees as well as having his ultimate, like they're really able to kind of dodge those positioning abilities, you know, like the cooldown and the cogs, which makes it kind of, gives them a little bit more, you know, ability to maneuver in team fights. They're not kind of stuck to fighting in a circle or, you know, whatever. Gives them a little bit more chance to push back in the team fights, which they've been using, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Right away, they're already rotating into the jungle here. We might see another use of a dust here from Hans Reborn, looking to find another situation like they had earlier. Because that, honestly, that situation couldn't have gone any better in that mid lane there. That went so perfect for them. The Gyro was caught way out of position, too far up, and hey, look at that. It's a beautiful arrow. Either way, moving on to the team fight here. Lord Varys getting initiated, and here cooldown goes on him as well. He does have the Aegis. Aegis is still up. No, Aegis ended earlier. Right away, Dark Spectre buys back and uses his ultimate, sends himself back into this team fight here. Muffin Man picks up a kill on Spectre, and with Spectre's buyback, Storm Spirit is leisurely bouncing around these fights here. Yeah, buddy, stuck behind these trees here. I'm not sure what his thought behind that one was.
Blink.
It's like, I just want to hide. Spare me, please. Please. Right away, that buyback from Lord Varys was not surprising, but I mean, he just couldn't resist joining that team fight once again, and at least the good side to that fight is Gyro didn't die. I think that's the only plus I can pull from that team fight for EZlife. I mean, once again, the positioning was just really sour. What they thought they had an advantage on, they did for a few seconds when they picked up the Spectre, but after that, it just went absolutely south. I mean, Gyro was really bottlenecked within that jungle, really restricted his movement or much of his capability, and a lot of his team was stuck out in the open jungle facing Storm Spirit and everybody else, especially the Storm Spirit. That's definitely worth a mention. Definitely the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, the Storm Spirit's got his Bloodstone up now. 8 charges up, so I suspect after the next couple of team fights he's just going to be zipping from one side of the map to the other with no worry for mana. Just going to be a little bit painful.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of Bloodstone on Storm Spirit. I'm really not. I really dislike Bloodstone on Storm Spirit. It's always been an item that I've never built on Storm Spirit. 107 games with Storm Spirit, and I've never built a Bloodstone.
I don't know. I think Bloodstone, especially in a game like this where he hasn't died yet, he's got 9 kills, 8 assists. You know, if he got that Bloodstone earlier, which obviously he couldn't, but you know, assuming he did pick it up earlier, you know, he would be basically unkillable at the moment. And getting it now when he's already got his core items up, he's never going to have to go back to base basically. So I don't think it's a bad pickup. I mean, it's great, but they're already winning team fights, so what do they need another disable for?
That's just true. I mean, the Bloodstone does also provide quite a bit of healing as well. When he goes down, there's a possibility he can use it to sacrificed himself, not like he's ever actually died in any of the fights, but let's say that he actually might die. He has the capability of sharing the health with everybody else, which is definitely one of the better factors. That with the new Bloodstone, anyways, you have the option of choosing when you wish to distribute the health. But I don't know. I think the Hex would have, or Lincoln's might have been a good option as well, making him really, really survivable, as well as providing him with quite a bit of regen as well.
But I mean, if you think about it, what's the difference between a Lincoln's and Bloodstone at this point in the game? Because I mean, the Bloodstone makes him pretty tank, and any disables he would have gotten from spells, assuming he can dodge them anyway, he's just going to be able to regenerate that with Bloodstone when he runs off. I don't know. I like Bloodstone on Storm Spirit. I mean, I think it's situational. It's not something you can pick up every game, but I think in games like this where you're already dominating, it's just going to help you snowball further.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on that one. Some EZlife right now seem to be not sure if they're dilly-dallying or waiting for a smoke. Roshan responds in 2 minutes. That might be what they're waiting for. I think they're waiting for the Gyrocopter to come back from farming so they can smoke up, rotate down here, and look for a kill on honestly, any of the Hans lineup right now, because Hans is just doing a fantastic job. I mean, early game, they focused on a lot of pickoffs with single kills, but as I mentioned before, they had a lot of single target stuns to pick off, lone heroes, but now they're sticking together and it's paying off because most of their heroes have the farm that they need. Spectre is starting to snowball a little bit out of control. Storm Spirit's already way gone snowballed. And now that Spectre's getting it as well, it's going to get very difficult for just the Gyro here. Because unfortunately, as much as we'd like to think, Lion is only his abilities. He's only his skills. And once they're on cooldown, good luck with that.
Yeah, and especially because it's 38 minutes and Lion still hasn't hit level 16. That level 16 is crucial for Lion. It takes a whole minute off of his ultimate on the cooldown. So, that Lion, even though he has just his abilities are nowhere near comparable to if he'd have gotten a better start than he did.
I mean, this is definitely comparable to, those pub games that you play where the opposing team picks like 4 carries and you're like, oh, we got this, it's fine. I mean, we can win this. They have 4 carries, and then the game goes on way too long, and next thing you know, you got 4 farmed carries sitting at the front of your base, and you don't know what to do. And
that's questionable.
That is kind of a be-all, end-all here. I think they've realized that they kind of need to just go with it, and the Rapier is picked up on Gyrocopter. I mean, I kind of got a little too excited there. I had to contain myself there when I saw that Rapier on the side there, honestly.
It's like around going, what's happening? I wasn't looking at the bottom there. Oh god, this might be the worst fight in the world though, because Hans are just sitting on that hill, and if they, try and go uphill to fight them and lose that Divine Rapier,
if they lose the Rapier, the game is over. That's pretty much hands down. If they lose the Rapier, give it to Spectre. Those illusions are going to be hitting you like 1,000 freight trains. Just the game will be over, unfortunately. But instead, they're going to be looking to take the Roshan instead, which is probably a pretty stable choice right now. The Dire Ward is going to spot them out, but there isn't going to be any reaction, unfortunately. Not sure whether or not they actually noticed that it was here. Unfortunately, Storm Spirit does it. The ping goes out on Storm Spirit. They see he has the mana to blink in here. Storm Spirit wants to steal it. He might go in to steal it. The Spectre all just pops. Storm Spirit blinks in. They're looking to pick off the rest of these heroes here. Unfortunately, Gyrocopter isn't in position to hit the entire lineup right now. Darkseer Wall goes down right now. A finger goes on Lord Farnes, but Lord Farnes is just incredibly tanky right now. This team fight is just going incredibly south. Lonsdale is the first one to go down for 42 seconds here. T-Duck as well. Gyrocopter is just stuck inside this pit. He can't walk through this wall with this Rapier. TLM just barely escaping here. Gyro stuck inside the pit. This is absolutely atrocious. What are they going to be able to do? Gyro stuck by himself. Unless he's able to pick these heroes off, he's going to die. Lord Varens comes into the pit as well. Storm Spirit, and he goes down. Rapier dropped as well. And the GG well played comes out after that last hoorah team fight.
That was such a nice wall by the Darkseer there, managing to trap the Gyrocopter inside with that Divine Rapier. If he tried to leave, he was going to die, but he didn't. He should have dropped his boots and just TP'd out, I think. It's the only chance they stood.
It really is. That's really the only chance they stood there. I mean, he needed to get out of there. He just couldn't walk through the wall to help his team. It all started with really bad positioning. I mean, he was stuck inside the pit. Most of the Hans lineup was outside of the pit. And he can't get the flat cannon on all the heroes he needs, which is pretty much the prime reason you pick up the Rapier, is to put as much damage on everybody as fast as possible before, the farmed carries are able to bring you down. And he just wasn't able to get out and help. and they made the biggest difference. I mean, looking back to the early game as well, I mean, Gyro did get a lot of farm, but Hans did a fantastic job of distributing the wealth and getting their multiple strong heroes just as much farm, if not more. And it carried into the mid game and just as well into the late game. And I'd like to congratulate Hans Reborn for being the champions of this morning, well, tonight for you, this morning for me. The Southern Cross Dota launch party. I hope you've enjoyed what we've brought you so far. I have been your host, Barry, for this evening. I apologize for a little bit of the technical difficulties at the start here. I'm a little tired, and OBS fights me harder than Muhammad Ali. So
Fights me too, man.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little annoying, but I hope you enjoyed the content we were able to bring. My caster for today in the morning was Grant. Not in the morning, at night. For the first game, it was Grant. He can be found at CXZIENT on Twitch. That's his channel as well. Not sure what his Twitter is. My caster for the past two games, have been Lily, and she can be found at the Porcelain Lily on Twitch. And don't forget myself, your host for the entire event, Barry. If you've enjoyed my content, please go to my channel, twitch.tv/BubblingBarry, spelled exactly how it sounds. Drop a follow, continue the support, follow me on Twitter at @TheBarryNation. And also, don't forget to show your love for the organizers of tonight's event, which was Southern Cross Dota. Visit their website, sign up for the forums, and join the fantastic community that is growing there. Thank you all, and have yourselves a glorious day.